It's a fourth straight win for the New Orleans Saints and a record-setting night at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Welcome in, everybody, to the New Orleans Saints postgame show presented by Verizon here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Sean Kelly and John DeShazier. The Saints are 4-1 now through Week 5, and they've won four straight for the 8th time under head coach Sean Payton. And, of course, Drew Brees tonight, the headline on a record-setting night for him.
Well, he does it in style. He rises to the occasion most games, but certainly a Monday night football game, national television, with an opportunity to set the all-time passing record in front of the home fans, and he does it in grand fashion, a 62-yard touchdown pass to rookie Tre'Quan Smith, and that's fitting because Drew Brees spreads the football around his entire career. Who would have thunk it would have been Tre'Quan Smith, except maybe Tre'Quan Smith, and here it is, record setter on Monday Night Football.
Unbelievable. 43-19 was the final score. We'll show that play to you and what happened late in the second quarter with regard to the stoppage in play to honor that moment as we go along tonight. We'll also hear from the man himself. Saints quarterback Drew Brees will address the media in the post-game press conference room just outside of the Saints locker room, and we'll have that for you, of course. Not to mention we'll hear from Saints head coach Sean Payton too. But did you see this coming? 43-19. What a win!
No, Washington came into this game with a pretty good defense, and you matched that up with they had a couple of weeks. They had a bye week, so they had a couple of weeks to prepare for this. But the Saints put the type onslaught on them that I just couldn't expect. Thomas Morstead didn't punt tonight. That tells you a lot about what the Saints were able to accomplish offensively. They didn't run it great, but they ran it efficiently. They got the attempts in. And then again, Drew Brees, 26 of 29. 26 of 29 passes for 363 yards. He basically shredded that secondary, and that had been one of the better secondaries in the league. I don't care who you are. You're allowing 188 passing yards a game, which Washington was coming in after the first three. That's a really good number. And Drew Brees took them to the woodshed tonight.
And it could have been worse. There was a soul-crushing drive in the fourth quarter. The Saints took over with the football with almost 10 minutes left, and they finished the game with that drive, rushing the ball down the field, and finally Teddy Bridgewater taking a knee in the victory formation for the New Orleans Saints. Not to mention the numbers from Drew Brees, as you said, 26 of 29, but finished with 363 yards through the air, a rating of 153.2. If memory serves me correct, JD, 158 is a perfect score. He came awfully close.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't get perfect rating. I mean, I know he missed on those 3 attempts, but I don't know how he didn't come out of this with a perfect rating. I mean, everything you possibly could have wanted if you're Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints and New Orleans Saints fans, everything you possibly could have wanted out of this game, they were able to get. He got the record in the first half, so he got that out of the way, got the celebration out of the way, got it on a touchdown pass, which allowed for the real kind of stoppage and appreciation that you really needed to have in that moment. And then the Saints, again, were extremely efficient. I thought they needed to be good on third down to stay on the field. I thought they needed to be good defensively to get Washington off the field because Washington, really good time of possession game. So the Saints really had it working on both sides. I mean, last week they said the Giants game was their most complete victory. I will say this one tops that one.
Yeah, they gave up, 18 points to the New York Giants last week, 19 here to the Redskins. This defense has got itself together now, and this comes tonight even with an injury to Marshawn Lattimore. He was hurt in the first quarter and, of course, unable to return with a concussion. More on that as we roll along. Let's go inside the post-game press conference room. Head coach Sean Payton ready to speak to the media.
Win in this league, especially against a good team, and then to accomplish a lot of the team goals going into this game that were necessary to win, and obviously with us being able to win in a night where a significant record was broken, that makes it that much more special. So, any questions? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's some throws we threw today that, as you script plays, your progression might be a different set of receivers. He hit a few shots today in the seams that were significant. I can't recall many balls touching the ground. It's been a while since we haven't punted in a game. Morstead, I think, had his old kicking coach come to his first game tonight to see him play, and got to see him hold. But it was one of those nights. Guys played well up front. Our protection was good. That's a team that's played really good defense. We've seen, their 3 prior games, and a team that was playing with confidence. And obviously, we did some things, got on them early, and I thought defensively we did a great job. I thought our effort to the ball, was going to be important. And to answer your question, though, that there's always those games where there's a throw made, and he's got great vision and anticipation, and tonight was evident. Well, listen, to be honest with you, an alert throw, it wouldn't be first in the progression, but he felt the coverage come off and made the right decision. But it wasn't where we saw the ball going in its design on a Tuesday night at midnight, and that's a credit to him. Look, it was. It's fantastic, and I'm sure it'll become more special. It's always difficult when that moment happens in a game, and it's happened around here before in the fourth quarter when you're winning. But when it happens right in the middle of the contest, you want to make sure it doesn't impact your team's emotions relative to winning the game. And the comment I had made prior to the game in talking with the team was like, hey, our job is to win this game along with that milestone that'll be accomplished, and it makes it more special. And I think that's true. And I think the players, the coaches, every one of us felt like, let's be on point. And you really get a good team. You get a team that's playing well together because they don't want to disappoint each other. That's a good trait to have. And I felt like the last 2 weeks I've sensed that. And certainly tonight, relative to all that was at stake. Yeah. There's so much discussion that goes on, you lose track of what's said. But you're just and he's the same way. You're 20 seconds onto the next play, onto the next play, onto the next play, onto the next play, and then it's like you got to stop and take this pause. And obviously, it was significant and for good reason. He deserves it. It's been an unbelievable run, and doesn't feel like it's been 12, 13 years. It feels like it's been much shorter than that. And yet, I just know how his mind is wired tonight and what he's thinking. And I think it's in line with our team and our staff, myself, relative to the season and where we're at right now going into this bye, and then coming off of the bye and getting ready to continue to build on improving. Just there's a physicality with them, and I think it's hard to measure the importance relative to Alvin. It's a good run front. We were able to hit. I was pleased with how we finished the game, but look, it's great to have him back, and that combination. Those are 2 real good running backs. So it was a lot easier in calling the game. Man, exceptionally well. We played a lot of different guys. Kurt's playing quite a bit, and then Hardy's playing a bunch of snaps, and PJ. I mean, look, they played fantastic. We got turnovers when we needed it. I didn't handle the end of the first half well, myself particularly, and but overall, I was pleased with our energy and passion. I felt, we looked like the team that came off the bye. Listen, he's improving each week. So I was pleased with some of the plays he made tonight. There's some things that we'll continue to work on. We don't have a date when we feel like he's going to have it all together. We think that slowly arrives, and each week, hopefully, you're seeing improvement.
Has he actually improved at a pretty fast rate once the season started? It seemed like he was.
I think, yeah. I mean, remember, he was hampered a little bit by an injury that kept him back from training camp, but I love the way he's improving.
How about Tre'Quan Smith? Was it a matter of opportunity for him, or has he progressed a lot even since?
Well, it's 2 elements to it with Ted being nicked up right now, but we've seen a lot of that from him already. It just hasn't been demonstrated necessarily out here on game night. But we've seen, someone that's got exceptional speed, and a game like this can really help relative to a confidence level, because you can wish for confidence and hope for confidence, and generally it's a byproduct of demonstrated success on the field. And so that goes a long way for a Marcus Davenport or a Traquan Smith. Those events are specifically what give you confidence. Well, I thought the snap was bad. So I saw that. It was low. Outside of that, the sequence was off. And I think, look, Will's been kicking outstanding. So, but it's kind of one of those low in the dirts, and Thomas got it up. And I'm sure when we watch it on film, it'll be something we can clean up. We knew he could run, and it's just a matter of, finding the touches and and finding the reps. But it's pleased how we played. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the ski mask, honestly. I am a big fan of Mike, though, and how he plays. He is an emotional player. He's tough, extremely dedicated. He works his tail off, and there isn't a more passionate player, and it's all football 24/7. And listen, it rubs off. You just you can't help but feel he's also a extremely powerful player relative to getting into the routes, yards after the catch. He made some big plays for us tonight. I was asked that earlier in the week. I don't think any one of us career-wise look 10 years forward. Honestly, we set goals, and early on in 2006 when we both got here, similar times, and began trying to rebuild and put a team together. Those short-term goals were winning a division, and so. There wasn't any moment where it was like, hey, this is how it's going to unfold. Certainly the Super Bowl was a goal, but all these other things are byproducts of health, stability, successful teams, a lot of different individual people, and so to answer your question, it's in steps and stages, and I think that the thing that's inspiring most is knowing what's most important to him, and that common goal that we have relative to winning another championship. And that's all the actual hardware, the different bats and the different, those all get dust, but it's about these memories right now with someone like that is as special as that is tonight, and what he's accomplished. That's what you miss, when it's done. But honestly, I think it was winning in the beginning, competing, and being relevant. Being relevant. Being one of the teams you have to beat, and the other things just kind of take care of themselves. That was a dumb challenge, right? Probably the dumbest in 13 years. I mean, the ball went out of bounds. I'm not going to throw any assistant under the bus. It's me. That was awful. All right, thank you.
So, real quick, plan, we'll have Drew, as soon as he's done with the showering and everything, and followed by him, we'll update.
Well, Saints head coach Sean Payton, I can't believe, number one, that somebody asked about the missed field goal on a night like this. Number two,
And the challenge
at the end. Nonetheless, a lot of great insight into what was a complex historic night and a massive win for the New Orleans Saints. Still to come, obviously, we're going to hear from the man of the hour, and that's Saints quarterback Drew Brees. We'll take you back inside that press conference room, which is just off of the it's actually the offensive team meeting room as a part of the complex back there for the Saints locker room, but we'll take you right back there shortly. John, I want to show him the play here in just a second, but he needed 201 yards tonight to eclipse Peyton Manning's all-time.
Incredible. Brees wide open, and Smith, what a way to do it!
What's that? I love you, bro. I love you, bro. I love you, buddy.
That's certainly a moment that we're going to see a lot of, not only throughout the night, but obviously across the next week. And, of course, the bye is next, so we'll live this one on and on and on to again tonight. But it comes late in the second quarter. The football is on its way to Canton even as we speak. The president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame was here tonight, and the moment I thought was fitting. I'm glad it came before the 2-minute warning in the second quarter because there was word, John, that they would not stop the game and honor the moment if they were under 2 minutes left in either half.
And I don't think Drew would have wanted it that way.
Right.
He would have wanted to remain in rhythm, but fortunately he's able to get it that way. Traquan Smith, I don't know exactly what Washington was scouting, but they obviously didn't scout Traquan Smith on that play because he's wide open. And that's the way to get it in style. Remember when he broke Johnny Unitas' consecutive games with a touchdown record? He did it here in the Superdome on a touchdown pass to Devery Henderson. So he's got a way of breaking records kind of here in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. And certainly that one is one that you hope he'll extend and will last for a while.
Yeah, Devery Henderson, by the way, here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome tonight. We should know for Traquan Smith, not only is he a part of history tonight, but he also had his first career 100-yard receiving game, which was of note. Luke McCown was also in the building tonight, longtime backup quarterback to Drew Brees. Jonathan Vilma, captain on the other side of the football, also wanted to be here as a part of history tonight. Longtime voice of the New Orleans Saints, Jim Henderson, also wanted to be here tonight. And the historic moment tonight was not only marked by the festivities on the field, which included a warm embrace for Drew to his wife Brittany and their children. It was a special moment. But the other thing that was going on outside the building was the fact that the illumination of the Mercedes-Benz Superdome went from pink, as it is tonight for Crucial Catch, to black and gold for a period of 9 minutes, fittingly enough, to honor the moment as well. Peyton Manning was unable to be here tonight. We had talked to Archie last week. Archie and the Manning family all were excited about Drew achieving this milestone. Peyton, because of another commitment, was not here tonight to witness Drew Brees breaking his record. But he did put together a video, and I really didn't know what to expect with this. But when you see this, and we're going to show it to you, especially those of you who are unable to see it here at the game tonight, this is Peyton Manning at his finest. If you like the commercial work he does, you'll love this. This is what played for Drew at the 2-minute warning in the first half.
Peyton, FYI, Drew Brees just broke your record.
Which one?
All-time passing yards.
Passing yards? Oh, okay. So I still have the touchdown record, right?
He's actually on pace to break that too.
What? Great. Drew, for 1,000 days, I've held the record for all-time passing yards in the NFL. And I got to tell you, it's been the greatest 1,000 days of my life. And thanks to you, that's over now, and you've ruined that for me. So thank you very much. I have nothing left to look forward to except slicing my tomatoes, making dinner for my family, putting together this wedge salad. Also, let this serve as the congratulations for the touchdown record, because as you can see, I'm very busy. I don't have time to keep doing these videos for you, congratulating you. But in all seriousness, Drew, congratulations on this record. You've done it the right way. All your hard work and dedication have paid off. You and I have come a long way since this picture back in 2000 when you were in college and I was in my third year in the NFL. So way to go, proud of you. Good luck the rest of the way.
Drew, what's going on? Mr. Breezy, it's been a pleasure to be here with you. Congratulations on breaking the record. Thank you for everything, the leadership, mentorship, everything you've done for this team and this program. Love you, man.
Man, Drew, he's a special dude. I mean, day in and day out, he comes to work. I mean, he works like it's his first year in the league, but I mean, you know, seasoned vet, great guy, I mean, great teammate, motivator. I mean, he does all the little things, and that's why he's great.
Drew, congratulations, man. I mean, well deserving of such a prestigious award, all-time leading career passer. And I'm not surprised because the way you work, your passion for the game, your dedication for the game, just your love for the game, you deserve it. And I'm so proud of you, so proud of the man that you have become, so proud of the father and the husband that you are and continue to be. And once again, congratulations, you're the best.
Das Breezington, what's up, buddy? Favorite backup here. Hope you're doing well, man. Just wanted to say congratulations on being the NFL's passing king. And just know that the balloon knot will forever live on.
Hey, buddy. I want to wish you congratulations on becoming the NFL's passing king. Thanks for letting me be a small part of it, man. I'm real proud of you. You're the best.
Congratulations, Drew, on breaking the NFL's career passing yards record. I'm so proud of you and how you represent the black and gold and, of course, the city of New Orleans. You are simply the best. Congrats.
Drew, congratulations on becoming the all-time passing leader in the NFL. You're the man. Congratulations.
Drew, congratulations. Proud to know you, buddy. So happy for you. Couldn't happen to a better guy. Keep going and set a record that will never be broken. All right. See ya.
Making it look breezy, just like Drew. Man, congrats on the record, Drew. What a guy. It's been fun watching you out there ever since I was in college. To be in the same room as you now, it's been even more fun. Congrats on the record.
Drew, you did it. Congrats on breaking the NFL's career passing record. We're so proud of you. Oh, my God. We love you in New York. Go long. Go long, Drew. Go long.
And a pretty good list there again, starting with Peyton Manning, the former record holder. What did he say, 1,000 days?
1,000 days.
Right.
1,000 days. Pretty long time if you think about it, but not long enough.
Not long enough. For Peyton, that is.
Yeah, for Peyton.
And we'll see how long it goes for Drew Brees. I think this number is going to stand for quite some time. We're in a gunslinging era in the NFL. Records are made to be broken. But this one could hold for a while. And the only thing that Drew Brees didn't do tonight was drop in touchdown number 500 of his career. Oh, he was close. If this had been a tighter game, we would have seen it, John.
Yeah, we thought we might get it. Taysom Hill ends up on the keeper where he scores the 1-yard touchdown run, but Drew Brees had an opportunity. Now, he's flanked out left, so he wasn't going to throw that one, but certainly that's one of those that can wait a little bit because inevitably he's going to get it, obviously. He'll be the fourth NFL passer in history to get there, along with Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and now Tom Brady, who just reached the mark in New England's last game. So, yeah, that one's just within reach. There won't be a record that will be safe by the time Drew Brees finishes this assault.
I don't think you're too far off in saying that. We'll hear from Drew Brees here shortly. We're awaiting him. That is the man of the hour, and certainly we're excited to hear what he has to say. It'll be interesting to see what he remembers from the moment. Sometimes in a game, and Sean Payton alluded to this too, John, that it's going so fast, and it's one play to the next and one play to the next, and certainly the game was not in hand at that moment. So it'll be interesting to see what he recalls from that time. I'm sure he'll have to go back and watch the film too.
Well, Drew, though, he's got that photogenic memory. He's one of those guys, he can remember just about everything. I asked him about the first touchdown pass he threw in his rookie year to a tight end, Freddie Jones, and he said he didn't remember a whole lot about the game, but he remembered that play because he was thinking, if we get this defense that I'm looking for, it'll be a touchdown. Sure enough, he got the look he was looking for, got a touchdown. So I guarantee you, he'll remember what the call was. He'll remember who rolled the wrong way in the secondary. He'll remember Cam Meredith maybe clearing out for Traquan Smith. He'll remember everything. He's one of those guys who, not a whole lot slips past him.
He won't have the football to look at his house.
Nah,
By the way,
thing.
he won't have his uniform either. They're packing up the uniform tonight. That's also going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Well, the uniform only goes for 2 years, so I think he can get the uniform back.
Okay.
The football he might not be able to get back.
Well, his bust will be there at some point to join the football.
Exactly,
yes,
exactly.
We know that. So a lot going on here tonight. Again, the final score at 43-19. The Saints with a dominant win. Their second straight over an NFC East opponent. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, this is the 8th time under Sean Payton that the Saints have a 4-game win streak. Maybe more importantly than anything else, they hold on to first place in the NFC South. Atlanta losing yesterday, but Carolina won. And now the Saints will go into the bye week and jump back into that very difficult AFC North division with Baltimore. We'll talk about that in just a moment. One of the other headlines going into tonight's game, of course, would be the return of running back Mark Ingram, who returns here to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome after serving his 4-game suspension. JD, what'd you think of number 22 tonight?
Well, he looked fresh-legged. Again, Washington, a team that doesn't give you a whole lot on the ground, but he gave the Saints that balance. Look, Alvin Kamara had been carrying a heavy workload in the first 4 games, and Mark Ingram being back helped balance that out. He ran for a couple of touchdowns, a couple of short runs, but still, you kept the defense honest because of the threat of Mark Ingram running the football. Ran it, a lot more times. In fact, I think he had 16 carries, which was significantly more than Alvin Kamara in this game. Really gave Alvin Kamara an opportunity to not be a ball carrier, to be more of a receiver and a decoy, and almost get a rest after having such a heavy workload in the first 4 games. Alvin Kamara had 91 touches in the first 4 games. He certainly doesn't approach 23 touches. He was averaging about 23 a game in the first 4. Didn't approach anything near that in this game, and I think that'll help him out down the line, keeping both of those guys fresh when you spread the workload that way.
All right, Mark Ingram tonight, 16 carries, 53 yards, the 2 touchdowns, as you mentioned. He also was on the receiving end of 2 passes. He was targeted 3 times tonight. But the screenplay early in that opening drive is just kind of that welcome back Mark Ingram moment.
Vintage.
He takes it all the way down to the 1-yard line, and rightfully so, they give him the ball to finish the job, and that was his first touchdown of the game. We kind of touched upon this in our headlines at the top of the show tonight. Marshawn Lattimore left the game, a concussion. He actually had a head-on collision with a teammate, A.J. Klein, and the 2 of them were attempting to make a tackle. That's just the top of the list tonight as far as Saints being banged up. A.J. Klein, not on that play, but also went down for a moment. P.J. Williams did as well. Thankfully, both of those guys returned to the ballgame tonight. The second half, Taylor Stallworth, who's really been coming on strong in his first campaign with the New Orleans Saints, left the game unable to return. We'll keep an eye on that through the bye week as well. But Marshawn Lattimore leaves the football game, and now all of a sudden Justin Hardy is called into service. This is a very reliable, significant piece of the special teams for the New Orleans Saints. But, John, he's not had this chance in the regular season to show his wares at corner.
Well, we've seen some improvement in him from training camp, off-season workouts, in his play as a defensive back. So certainly getting a chance to do it. Now, he's able to come in because P.J. Williams went out as well as Marshawn Lattimore. When P.J. went out for that little bit of time, that left the Saints really depleted at cornerback, so he had to come in and play some corner. He gets his first career interception. Cam Jordan with the assist on that one because Cam Jordan supplies the pressure. Alex Smith throws off his back foot, basically a pop-up, and all Justin Hardy's got to do is field it. Justin returns at 77 yards, doesn't get in the end zone, so his teammates are going to give him a little bit of grief about getting caught from behind on that one, but certainly a big play for Justin Hardy, a guy who's just trying to make his way defensively. We know what he adds on special teams. But in the NFL, the more you can do, the harder it is to get rid of you. So to make a play at cornerback helps him.
Yeah, the interception and a return of 77 yards.
Yes.
Almost all the way to the house.
Yeah, just didn't get quite in. And look, his teammates are going to ride him. They're going to be on his back like they were on Marshawn Lattimore's last week. He scoops his fumble and gets run out of bounds by Eli Manning in New York. And now Justin Hardy gets a pick, and he gets run down and pushed out of bounds right around the goal line. So they're going to be on his back a little bit.
All right, still awaiting Drew Brees at the podium here on a historic night for him and for the New Orleans Saints franchise. Obviously, we want to hear what he has to say. We'll take you right back to the post-game press conference room for his thoughts here shortly. A little bit of a coming out party tonight for the 2018 draft class. Traquan Smith, who we talked about earlier, 2 touchdowns tonight. He was on the receiving end of the historic play. But Marcus Davenport continues to improve week to week, and his presence was felt as well.
I'm telling you, Cam Jordan told us earlier that Marcus Davenport is stronger than he looks. Now, he's 265, but he's tall, like 6'5". He looks lean, but Cam Jordan said he's stronger than he looks. He puts on the bull rush. He has the sack strip sack, that the Saints recover, or the ball ends up going out of bounds, and the Saints get possession of it. He's one of those guys. Every week he seems to make a play that stands out, whether it's running down a receiver or a running back in the backfield and getting a tackle for loss, or whether it's getting to the quarterback. He really is showing up huge for this team defensively, and they need him to because that defensive end rotation is a little bit short right now. They're not using Trey Hendrickson. They're not using Mitchell Lavin. And so basically it's Marcus Davenport, it's Alex Okafor, and it's Cam Jordan, and those 3 guys are getting it done.
Yeah, Sheldon Rankins had a sack tonight, 3 sacks in all for the New Orleans Saints. Probably should have been 4. One of the hits that that Davenport delivered was ruled an incomplete pass. But I mean, you want to talk about a bone-jarring hit. He had 2 of them tonight. The strip sack, as you mentioned. You know, the guy who had the easiest night of all was Thomas Morstead tonight. Is that unbelievable or what?
Wait, his college kicking coach comes to see him, and all he does is hold. I saw Sean Payton say that. And Thomas Morstead, he's one of those guys, this is the easiest check he will ever get in the NFL, to not have to punt whatsoever. They only had the 1 mix-up on the hold for a PAT. Him and Will Lutz, and I heard Coach Payton say it was probably a low snap that he had to, kind of scoop and then try to put down, and Will Lutz ends up missing that PAT. But otherwise, Thomas Morstead, cleanest jersey in the house tonight.
No doubt. Let's take you through a couple of the numbers. Some of them are significant tonight. We always look at third down, JD. The Saints were 5 of 9 offensively tonight, and defensively they hold Washington to 4 of 13 on third down. 27 first downs in all for the New Orleans Saints tonight. 18 for the Washington Redskins. They had almost the same number of offensive plays, 63 for the Saints, 60 for the Redskins. Now, the game gets lopsided. There's the big drive at the end to seal the win. But at the same time, if you're just talking, this guy's plays versus that guy's plays, there's no doubt, even if you took the score away, how lopsided this ends up being for the New Orleans Saints, and balanced too, I thought, as well. I mean, like we said, I think they were able to mix up run and pass, and of course off the play action as well. And Mark Ingram, certainly, when you throw him the screen pass, I almost want to count that as a run. So
to me, passes to him and to Alvin Kamara are like long handoffs. So those really are part of the running game, and that really is just to keep the offense balanced. You're able to get the ball in those guys' hands in situations where they get some space, hopefully on some passing plays, and I think that's just to balance the offense out. So you really get you want the attempts in the run game. You might not always get the yards, but the attempts forces the defense to play you honest.
4 penalties, 45 yards. Are you okay with how that played out?
I'm okay with that because they really have cut down on the penalties. And a couple of them were silly. Craig Robertson with the taunting penalty on a touchback on a kickoff, something you don't want to see if you're the Saints or Craig Robertson. He's too smart a player for that. So that's something that can be eliminated very, very easily and should be and will be.
All right. Time of possession lopsided because of the final drive at the end of the football game. And I want to note, too, that the Saints averaged 7.1 yards per play on the offensive side as well. We've got an eye here on our monitor, and we're close now to hearing from Saints quarterback Drew Brees in just a moment. If you missed his numbers earlier, they're eye-popping. 26 of 29 through the air, 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 153.2. John, you noted this as we were getting ready to wrap up the ball game down here on set, preparing for the Saints postgame show. Brees came into the football game with a completion percentage of about 75%, half percent. You thought maybe 80% might be achievable. Here's Saints quarterback Drew Brees after tonight's big win.
Good luck with that. All right.
So bigger thrill, the record or Josh Norman was won twice, at least twice.
That's right. I'm a threat out there, you know. Yeah, and the Taysom Hill package continues to evolve. So at some point, I don't know, I might be catching a pass. We'll see.
What was that like after you break the record and your family's right there? Obviously,
Yeah.
Can you just explain the emotions?
Yeah. Well, first of all, just coming into the game, obviously knowing that it's there and it's possible, and just trying to stay very focused on the game and just executing, each play one at a time, but knowing that, slowly you're creeping closer and closer, and just not knowing when or how that's going to happen and what's going to be transpiring in the game, and just the momentum and just different things, right? And so when we tried out there for the 2-minute drive, I knew we were within striking distance. Felt like, if we threw a bunch of balls all the way down the field, if all those were passing yards, then we'd probably eclipse the record, and didn't know it was going to happen on the first play to Traquan, but I don't think it could have happened in any better fashion than it did, and to have then that moment with my teammates on the field, the offensive line, I mean, it played out even greater than I ever could have imagined. I tried to rehearse the scenario in my mind this week, just so I could, really focus on the game. But to then have the moment with Sean and Mr. Baker from the Hall of Fame, and then my boys and my wife Brittany and my daughter Rylan, that was just, it was incredible. Yeah. Yeah, so in Ted Ginn's absence, Traquan stepped in and did a magnificent job. Obviously had 2 really big catches tonight for touchdowns. So credit to him, and just the way that he's come along here in his rookie season, really made a ton of progress, and each and every week, especially within the last couple weeks, just feeling like, man, this kid can really help us, can really be a big part of our offense. Just need to continue to evolve. And we've got some other pieces as well. We got Mark Ingram back. Cam Meredith is coming along, and so we've, I feel like we've got a lot of weapons. I feel like we have a lot of ways to spread the ball around and be really productive. I did. In true Payton fashion, it's he always is very creative. But I appreciate. Spoke with Favre, 2 weeks ago, after the completion record, after we did that in Atlanta, and then I'd gotten a text from Payton and Archie and Cooper, and spoke to Eli last week, and really got, I guess, best wishes from the whole family. So that was really classy. Yeah, I mean, it's usually good news, right? It's hard for me to reflect too much right now, just because my career's not done. There are still goals to be accomplished. There's still challenges to be met, and so I'm still very focused on that. And yet, when something like this happens, and I can, there's so many people that are responsible for that can be a part of that. It makes me happy. It makes me proud, and it makes me extremely grateful for the opportunity to play this game, to have played it as long as I've been able to play it, to have wound up here in New Orleans, which you all know that story. So it's been an unbelievable journey, and I'm just so grateful. No, yeah, I mean, listen, I broke down and cried a bunch of times this week. I mean, just thinking about so many things. I mean, I feel like when you have kids too, you can get more emotional. Just because I get emotional when I think about them, and you know, being a father is obviously the greatest responsibility in the world, and you know, I want to be the best father that I can be for them. I want to set the best example I can for them at all times. But I think about all the people who have influenced my life in such a powerful way, and you know, there were so many of those people that were here tonight, you know, that witnessed this. So many people that I spoke to this week that are a part of this, and so many others still that I've yet to had a chance to reach out to, and that time will come. But you know, two of the people that had the biggest influence on my football career, certainly, and who I am growing up, are my mom and my grandfather, and they're in heaven. You know, they're no longer here, but I know that they would be proud. I know they're watching down on me, looking down on me, watching over me at all times, and my kids as well. And so, you know, you start thinking about a lot of things when it actually happens. Yeah. Well, my kids motivate me to be better, because when I throw the ball to my son Callan on the couch, he always tells me I'm not throwing it in the right place. Don't you, Callan? I say, come on, Dad, not here. I want it here. You know, he wants like the outstretched one-handed catch on the couch. So, you know, they're my toughest critics. You know, so they keep me honest. Oh, I mean, it's 13 years brings back a lot of emotion, or a lot of memories, and a rush of emotions. You know, I love this city, love this fan base, love the Superdome, love the environment that our fans create on a weekly basis when we play here, and there's really no fan base like it. I mean, it obviously the bond that we share as a team with our fan base is unlike any other, I think, in all of professional sports. And they're just so passionate, and you know, I wanted this as much for them as anybody. No, you know, it was really a new play, a new thought, just this idea that, you know, you kind of flood a zone, and you know, maybe somebody pops open, and that's basically what happened on that play. There was a lot of you know, we kind of threw Alvin out there, threw Mike out there, and just started, you know, running guys all over the place, and I think might have got them a little bit confused, and Traquan popped wide open. That's a gift from the QBs. Are you talking about in the bag, or are you talking about what he's holding? Well, that's a bottle of tequila. So we'll enjoy that when the time comes. No, just I think last time I checked it was 178 text messages. So we'll take this bye week to get through all those. All good? Thanks, guys.
A little bit of applause there at the end, and an emotional night for Drew Brees, an emotional post-game press conference, an enjoyable one too, though. Good stories there. John, we got some insight into what he's been going through over this last week, and what this night was for him.
Yeah, a guy who doesn't really share all of that kind of stuff publicly. You can ask him about things during his weekly interviews at his locker, and you know, Drew doesn't give you a whole lot to hold on to in terms of the real Drew Brees, but then you hear him talk about, you know, the week and shedding tears throughout the week and thinking about all the people who have had an impact on him. And you know he's such a thoughtful guy that you knew that these things were running through his mind probably at some point in time. He just wasn't ready to share them pregame.
Does the bye week come at the right time? Sometimes when a team is rolling, you fear that the bye week is there to interrupt it. At the same time, you could say that it does come at the right time after now what is a 4-1 start.
I think so. It gives you an opportunity to heal up Marshawn Lattimore, who left the game with a concussion. Alvin Kamara is probably a little bit more nicked up than everybody knows. Obviously, his touches go down in this game. Ted Ginn Jr. has the knee issue. That gives him an opportunity to come back. Taylor Stallworth ends up leaving this game with some assistance. Maybe he's back after the bye week. And if those guys aren't able to go, it gives the Saints a couple of weeks to figure out some different options in terms of maybe signing somebody or getting somebody to play. We saw Josh Larebus, the offensive lineman, go in and have to play a little defensive line after Taylor Stallworth goes out. Yep. So you know that gives the Saints an opportunity to say, okay, maybe Mitch Lavin or maybe Tree Hendrickson we're going to activate now, because if Taylor Stallworth can't go, or maybe you bring back a Jay Bromley, there's a whole lot of options there, but you get a little time to work on them.
Yeah, some well-deserved rest for a football team that seemingly after week 1 was asking a lot of questions, but they found a lot of answers here now, having won 4 straight. You said several weeks. We're talking about a big stretch of weeks coming up here where this Saints team will not be playing on this field out here. The next game is a road game in Baltimore. John, this team doesn't see their home crowd and feel this turf at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome for some time. That'll be a midseason test here.
Well, see, the beauty of that, is now they're 4-1. So you've got a little something stored up in case you run into a storm if you're the Saints. But they've got to feel pretty good about the way they play and the game that they carry, the way they run the football now, and the way they throw it efficiently. They're not going for big home runs. They're able to churn out scoring drives. So they have the type game that carries and travels wherever it is you go. So they feel pretty good about where they're going. And yet, being 4-1, if you do hit a rocky stretch, you've got a little something built up in the bank.
All right, 43-19, the final score tonight. The Saints winners again. And they take down the Redskins, a team that had come in here stout against the run, kind of holding their own, and new life under quarterback Alex Smith. But today all that was squashed. That was the team coming off the bye. Washington gets off of their week rest, and I don't want to say lays an egg, just more importantly gets dominated by the New Orleans Saints in all phases of the football game tonight. I know you've got a little bit more work to do following this one and the big night for Drew Brees, but enjoy the break, partner. Well deserved. You haven't stopped here since late July on the start of training camp.
Well, you either, my friend. So both of us will get a little bit of a break this weekend. But this is the way you want to go into a bye. You want to go into a bye on a win, something positive, and then they can roll out of it. And again, hopefully heal up, rest up, and get ready for Baltimore.
Ashley Amos on the field with us here. Ashley, wave. They can't see you. Bingo. Brendan Hassett upstairs in our control room here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Hope you enjoy the Saints postgame show tonight. Glad to have it for you here on the sidelines, back in the studio when the Saints are on the road. But, of course, we'll have full coverage for you when this campaign resumes from Baltimore against those Ravens. Couldn't ask for a better night tonight. You could have sat down, JD, and written the script for this thing. I doubt you would have come up with something this good.
You know, I was saying that maybe Drew Brees will get his 201 yards in the first half and get it over with. Had no idea he'd actually be able to do it against a defense that played this well, and to get it on a touchdown like that. I mean, he couldn't have scripted it better. And then 26-29. Good grief. I mean, you can't ask for more.
Privilege for us to be here to see it in person.
Very nice. No doubt. Very nice.
No doubt. 43-19 again, the final score. Saints move on with another win, their 4th straight. For John DeShazier, I'm Sean Kelly. Have a great bye week, everybody. We'll see you next time here on the Saints postgame show presented by Verizon.